Looking for anything in particular, sir?
Do you have any comic books?
Any what?
Any comic books?
Yes.
I'm actually interested in this whole box. Hello everyone, welcome back to the channel. I have a truly legendary find for you in this video that I came across almost purely by accident. So the morning of this sale, I hadn't originally intended to go out to the garage sales because I had to start setting up at my first comics and collectible show as a vendor by 8:30. So I had my car packed full of everything I intend to sell. I had my wallet full of change when a sale came across my phone on the Facebook Marketplace stating they might have video games and consoles. And that sale started at 7. So I figured I might be able to take a quick look if I got there a little bit early. I did arrive about 20 minutes before 7 just to see how I can take a look and possibly beat all the other video game hunters to this sale. So when I got there, I started looking around and I thought they might have just beat me to this sale. Because after first walk around, I didn't see any games. I see here boxes of DVDs, CDs, and Blu-rays. So I started looking through them, thinking that the games might have been intermingled. Sometimes I do come across all manner of PS2, GameCube, Xbox games intermingled with the DVDs and Blu-rays. So I started looking, but unfortunately, I didn't see anything. So I started to think I'd take one last look around to see if they had anything in a box, because this sale, as you can see, was full of bins. The seller, I found out, was a storage locker buyer, so they had so much stuff. So I take one last look around to see if there might have been a console in any of the boxes, but unfortunately I did not see anything. But right as I started to get disheartened, I take one last look around. I look back in the tool section of the sale when I'm thinking I'm going to start heading out because everything is gone. And that's when the seller asked,
Looking for anything in particular, sir?
do you have any comic books?
Any what?
Any comic books?
Yes.
Looking for comic books and any Nintendo games.
I have lots. I have Nintendo games. I have a lot, but we haven't got them out yet.
Okay.
I've got PS2, PS3, PS4. I've got some XDS. I'm probably gonna end up having to have another garage sale, or you can come back later. Maybe I'll get it all pulled out.
Okay, well I'll be here for a little while.
Okay.
Because actually I had to go to a comic show later today, actually.
Yeah.
There's going to be one set up at the Embassy Suites off of Government. Yeah.
I had some sitting over here that were moving the cellophane stuff. Will you do 75?
I was just thinking 75. Yeah. Okay, so we decided to do the deal for $75 for this total comic books and graphic novels, which total to a number of 220 books. And they range anywhere from the 70s on up. And mostly they were Marvel titles. There was one book from 1969, which I look forward to showing you at the end of the video. So after this comic deal was done, we went back to the video games, which the seller said they had a lot of. So they weren't quite sure where they were, but the more we talked about the games I was looking for, they remembered where exactly they were in their garage and in their trailer. So next up, I'm going to show you the boxes of video games they pulled out for me to look through. PS2. Let's see what we got in here. I'm actually interested in this whole box.
Yeah?
Okay, everybody. So if that pickup seemed kind of quick on the games, because I didn't want to bore you with 5 minutes of me checking each case to make sure each game was in there, I figured we go right to the games themselves. Okay, everybody. So here is all the gaming stuff picked up at this garage sale. There is a stack of items here on the right side you didn't see in the video, so I'll explain how I got them. But first, all the games that were in the box. Starting down here, we have a few in makeshift cases here. Hack Volume 1, Rebirth, PS2. NHL 7. Ninja Gaiden Sigma 2, and Battlegrounds for the PS4. Now here we have PS2 titles. Most of them are pretty common titles. A few sports titles. Guitar Hero, Final Fantasy. As we get to the top, we get to the few of the more rare RPGs. Dragon Quest, Hack Volume 2 and 3, Tales of the Abyss, King of Fighters, Okami, Star Ocean, and the big winner here is Wild Arms number 5. It is disc only, but it does fetch a good amount of money. So that one was a real key find right there. And here on the Xbox, PS4, and Wii side, and a few other rare titles here. Not sure how to pronounce it, but Tales of Exilia 1 and 2, King of Fighters, Dynasty Warriors, Devil May Cry, Darksiders, Dante's Inferno, Bayonetta, and Batman. All really nice finds. So this stack of games with my deal, I managed to get them for a little under $3 a piece. So 2 days later, after the footage of the sale, I got a call saying they found more games, mostly consoles and controllers. And I decided to hit them up after I left work. So I put together a little pile here and got this. They said they might have some more DS and Nintendo games. They were mostly Disney Game Boy Advance games, but I did find Trace Memory for the DS. A couple of more loose PS2 games. PS1, Blade, Resident Evil, Guitar Hero, and Azurik. Not sure if I'm pronouncing that right. And Assassin's Creed Rogue. The bottom two are just case only, but they both have their manuals in it. I managed to put together a nice little bundle with this pretty amazing PS2 in well working condition. I don't find them often in that too good a condition. Came with 2 controllers. One of them is a little sketchy, but this one works just fine. Got 2 Nintendo DS chargers. 360 controller, needs a new battery pack. Pretty nice PS3 tactical camo controller. Regular Xbox remote, which I surprisingly did not have. But this was really awesome. For the PS3 Time Crisis game, which I have here in the stacks, right, I think it's right here, we have the 2 guns, which I don't see too often, in really, really good shape. Feel like they were hardly used with their cords. And I didn't have this version of Time Crisis. I didn't realize that they came with these sensors here. So that was a big surprise that they were all there. So we made a little bundle deal on everything you see here, including a few books and graphic novels. One of my favorite movies, The Crow. Got it in graphic novel form. Got 2 copies of this. And that bundle right here, $50. And together with the comic books, at the very end, I'll explain what I got everything for. This and the initial sale. But now we're gonna move on to one of my favorite parts, the comic books. Okay, everyone, so here's an overview of all the books that were in that bin. I tried laying them out by series, but there were just too many series, so I made a few piles here. Up here in the corner, we have a little stack of Alpha Flight, the oldest being issue 5. I think I got a few issues up to the 30s. I think 33 here is the latest in the series. In the Avengers pile, we have Avengers West Coast number 1. I never realized they had Red Wolf on the cover there. And the oldest Avengers was 238. And got a few more. Oh, here's 222. A few more West Coast. And an example of the condition some of these were in. Here's 217 with a detached cover. About to fall off there. Now Captain America pile, 268, 270. A few other ones, 341, 378, 404. Daredevil. And one of the oldest ones was the 195. I got most of these. 202, 208, 213. As you can see, they're in okay shape. Nice little stack of reader books here and there. I might bag and board up the best ones. Doctor Strange 56, 57, 70, Sorcerer Supreme 2, and issue 70. Now there's always a nice reprint cover here. The classic Hulk versus a Thing and this Fantastic Four. And here is 262, The Trial of Reed Richards. Nice red cover, but it's got a lot of spine ticks here. And 200s and 300s in the Fantastic Four pile. And the Incredible Hulk, I think the oldest one was 280. Unfortunately, 100 away from the Wolverine, but nothing even close to it, unfortunately. Now, the Iron Man stack was unfortunately the worst shape of them. Here in the oldest one, 153, as you can see here, cover's about to fall off this book. 178, 233, 177, 180, and 232. One Wolverine book. In the X-Men, the oldest was 160. Pretty decent shape, so I'll probably hold on to this one. It's newsstand. Got a coverless 190, I believe. 88. Classics 49 and 268. Pretty rough shape around the edges. Got like 3 Thor books here. Now this stack, I just put all the DC titles. Teen Titans, Aquaman, never seen this one actually. Justice League, I think they were the main one. There's not even any Batman. There's Batman the Outsiders. Action Comics, more Teen Titans. Flash, Blue Devil. I think it's a Who's Who. Might be actually the League. Horror Ghosts. Coverless Flash. Son of Saturn. More Teen Titans. And Atari Force. Okay, here we have my Spider-Man stack. Got the classic retelling of the Vulture, Marvel Tales. Spectacular. A few amazing, but nothing too old. I think this might be one of the oldest ones. But still, there's a good find in there. 280, 65, 41. Nice cover, 251, 61, 47, 34. Got a lot of damage here. You can see that. Got a stain on it. A little more stains in the books than I realized when I picked them up, but considering the price, it's fine by me. Spider-Man, Spectacular, Modern Amazing, Spider-Woman, Spectacular. Now, this Black Cat, unfortunately, is in rough shape, but I like this cover. About to fall off it, unfortunately. Spectacular, an annual. Spectacular, Spider-Man, Spectacular. I think pretty much makes out the last of this one. Yeah, there's another Spider-Woman. And that's a pretty good cover there. And then New Mutants pile. I think we got the earliest is 13. And it comes close, but all I get is 93. Marvel Team Up pile. The oldest being the original series, number 59. And a few other modern ones. Unfortunately, not any of the, well, here's a Gru, of the bigger first appearances, but I did come across a good one, which I'll talk about later. Now in this pile, I just put all the random one-shots in the series. There was one Spawn issue, number 3. Pretty okay shape, newsstand. Chris Starr, I think. Power Man, Cloak and Dagger, Magic, New Defenders. Actually, I'm not even sure what that is there. Chris Starr, Iceman, Hawkeye, Quest Probe and the Hulk, Kitty Pryde and Wolverine. New Defenders, X-Force. They won drew on this New Defenders here. It should be in white, I think. X-Factor. This was one of the few issues of the Secret Wars that was in here. This is number 12 and kind of beat up shape there. Secret Wars 2, New Defenders, Marvel Universe Handbook, for Star, ROM, Power Pack, Thing, Sigil, New Defenders, Kitty Pryde, and Modern Wolverine there. A What If, Power Pack, Crystar, The Thing, First Gargoyle, ROM, Team America. Just a lot of random X-Factor, or Hawkeye, Power Man, Nomad, one Punisher out of the whole thing. Oh, here's another Iron Man, Jack of Hearts, New Defenders, Micronauts, number 2, 3, and the last 2 are more Crystal. And last but not least, we got some of my favorites. We have the first Red Sonja here in the mid-80s series, 1 Conan the King, and we got 2 issues of Conan, actually 3. Wish I got all of these 3 already, but always good to find Conan in there. So this lot had a mixture of just about everything. Now I'm going to show you the books that I pulled that has some special significance. Okay, everybody, so now I'm going to get to all the great keys that I pulled from that tote. Now, one of the first keys that I pulled, I actually have already traded already, and that was the Marvel Team Up that ties for the first appearance of the Black Suit Spider-Man. I sold that pretty much the next day. I traded it for some of the great books that I picked up at my first vendor show. If you haven't seen that video, check it out. I'll give you the full story there. So now we're going to get to all the other books that I still have. The first one I wanted to mention is this Spider-Man that I've never seen before. This is a French-Canadian Spider-Man issue. I've never come across any foreign language books before, let alone French. So I was quite surprised to find this in the tote. And what makes it really interesting, on the back, there is a French advertisement for the 80s toy line Sectors. If you can see that there. So a really neat find. Next up, I thought this was really neat because I'm a fan of Daredevil. Here we have Marvel Adventure featuring Daredevil, issue 1. Pretty rough shape, but it's the first book in this Marvel Adventure series. So I'm definitely back on board and keeping this one. Next up, we have a few issues from the Secret Wars line. We have issue 6 in newsstand. You see the condition of it. Seven. Unfortunately, no 8 or 9, but there was a 10. Now we have a few Marvel Tales books I thought were interesting. Here we have the reprint of the very first Spider-Man comic book. A nice book which I doubt I'll ever come across. But I'll never say never though. But until then, I got Marvel Tales 138. Here we have a Marvel Tales Mysterio 151. So definitely keep a lookout for these Marvel Tale books if you never think you're going to come across enough money to buy the original issues of Amazing Spider-Man. And speaking of Spider-Man, we have the Marvel Tales 137, a reprint of Amazing Fantasy 15, the first appearance of Spider-Man. Really nice finding this one. I've read the Amazing Fantasy issue 15, but I haven't seen it in this form. I have it in black and white. Next up, we have the oldest book, which I spoke of earlier in the video. Released from 1969, we have Prince Namor, the Submariner, issue 12. Take a look at that. Pretty decent shape, I think. Maybe a mid-grade. But it's great to see one of these older books in the tote. I didn't expect to find anything this old, not a 12 center. I'm not sure if 1969 is the end of the Silver Age, beginning of the Bronze, but I'll let y'all mention down there in the comments. Now, next up we have two of the better keys, and one of my personal favorites, definitely we add to the personal collection. First up, we have Spectacular Spider-Man 64, first appearance of Cloak and Dagger. And so-so shape. Let me take a look. And last but not least, we have the book that made the find. In good shape. It pretty much covers not just the bin of totes, but almost the entire purchase. But I'm going to go into that here shortly. Here we have Amazing Spider-Man 252. One I've definitely been wanting for the collection. Definitely in need of a pressing, but it's still one of the most desirable books in the Amazing Spider-Man run. And I'm glad to have found it in a $75 tote full with comic books. So just goes to show that you never know what you can find if you just ask at the garage sales, because originally it went there, of course, for the video games. Asked a simple question about comic books and came back with a key Spider-Man book. And with that being said, I can go into the full amount I paid for everything. The tote, the games, plus the second day purchase, all added up to about $300. Do I think I have that in value? Absolutely. I think selling about half of the games would more than recoup that. Now, in the past, I've had good luck selling bundles of games locally with a console. A PS2 with about 30 games, an Xbox with 40 games, and they do pretty well. But I think with the games I'm seeing nowadays, I might just take a page from Anthony Froggy Flips and do what he does when he gets a lot of video games. He does a big bulk trade for all his games all at once, because I believe he's not a gamer. So if you haven't watched his videos, check out where he talks about his video game deals. And I think about taking a page from his book and trying that and just selling all of my video game stuff all together for one big bulk amount. I'm still trying to see what that would be because I have a lot of consoles and parts for consoles, controllers, and numerous games around with the new edition of all those great games I just picked up. So hopefully I can get a good amount to further along this hobby because it has been pretty good to me just in the past few weeks. I will actually have to make another video for another comic book find I just made yesterday. But I hope you guys enjoy the video. And if you do, please like, because I know that's super important to the continuation of this channel, and I really appreciate it. And if you would like to leave a comment about the games, the comic books, the keys, or anything else you might have seen in the video, I always like commenting back and forth with my viewers. So until next time, thanks for watching.